So, does the Book of Enoch have any internal issues?
Oh, yeah, lots of them. One of the things I like to do with the classes where I teach a little section on apocalyptic literature and introduce students to the Book of First Enoch for the first time is I have them read Book of the Watchers or some other section of the Book of Enoch and say, what are some things that compare favorably to Daniel or Revelation, and what are some things you're really glad aren't in the Bible? And a lot of the theology of what you find in, say, the Book of the Watchers is much different than the Old Testament. For example, the Old Testament just mentions that the sons of God came and mated with the daughters of man, and the Nephilim are a part of that. They became the giants, and then it just ends there. There's 2 verses. The Book of the Watchers sort of expands on this and talks more about the giants and talks more about this. Really is a way of explaining how sin entered the world. In Genesis, sin entered the world because human beings rebelled against God in the Garden of Eden to his clear command. And in the biblical materials, both in the Old Testament and Romans 5, sin is blamed on Adam. If you read the Book of the Watchers, sin is blamed on some very bad angels who come down and teach humans how to do all of these things, use technologies and writing and these kind of things, which can be used for good and evil. So really, the origin of evil isn't on humans, it's on these angels. And maybe the reason for that, back when the book was originally written a couple hundred years before Christ, is to move the blame for evil in the world away from God. If God made humans and humans brought evil into the world, who's to blame for evil? Well, God is. Well, in the Book of Enoch, God punishes these angels because they come down and teach humans to do all these horrible things. And so that's one big theological point that is much, much different than both the Old and the New Testament.